A-hole for suing my ex and her boyfriend, plus update. Original post. My ex and I divorced 3 years ago. She was cheating, but at this point, I don't care about the relationship anymore. The pending lawsuit has nothing to do with her or him, but rather their actions. My ex and I have a son, 13 male, that we split time with 50-50. He's a great kid. That interests have changed a lot, to be honest, as I imagine more kids and teenagers tend to do through the years. One thing my son was heavily into at the point was Legos. He used to play them all the time, and personally I think they're a great toy for different reasons. I used to love playing with them with him, and to this day, I still collect boxes that I leave unopened as a collection. Well, when my ex and I divorced, she got with someone who loved Legos more than I guess. From what I know, he loves making creations and building the sets in. I don't care, seems cool. He does one thing I think is very, very weird. He uses crazy glue so that the sets can't break or pieces can't be lost. This seems so weird to me. The issue is, I was out of town for all of 3 days last week for medical reasons, and my son wanted to get his PS4 so he could play it at his mom's. This isn't out of the ordinary at all, and he has a key, so he let me know he would be stopping by for it. I told him to have fun when I saw him on the entry camera. My wife's husband was with him, which was a no-no. I told him via speaker to not go in and to wait on the porch. He flinched but walked in anyway. I sent my ex a text telling her to call him and tell him he's 1 minute away from a cop call. He left my home with bag in hand, which I didn't think much of because my son had his games too. Well, my son texted me later that evening and said he didn't know it at the time, but he's pretty sure SD took some of my sets. These are all old sets, and 2 are worth big money. When I got home, I confirmed the missing sets and called my ex. She had no idea, but he admired them, so he took them, but it was so my son could have the sets to complete his collection. My son doesn't even like Legos anymore and told his mom he wouldn't steal from me. My wife asked how much it would cost to replace them, and unfortunately, it's more than their savings. Actually, it would take their house down payment plus more. I told them if they didn't pay in 2 weeks, I was suing and pressing charges. The price on the sets make it a felony. My ex and her husband are saving for a house which would give my son more space when he's there, but those sets were going to help pay for his education someday or a home of his own. I filed the police report and have talked to a lawyer, and we're moving forward with the suit. Everyone is calling me a joke because they are just toys, but I don't get it. They are worth real money. I'm not rich, guys. I needed those to help with my son's future. But again, taking this money does deny my son things at his mom's house. Am I the a-hole here? Edit to add. I've been asked to add these facts. The sets have been opened, which more than half of their worth, and one was glued together. The damage was done already. The stolen items are King's Castle, Milk Trug Lego, Land Train Carousel, and the glued one was a Star Wars Snow Speeder. Some of these are one piece of a larger set, so if you lose 1 of 5, you lose the value of one produce plus the value of the set as a whole. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Looking at it from just a monetary value, I don't believe your friends would be saying the same if he had stolen X amount of money. He shouldn't have entered your house without permission, and he shouldn't have stolen the sets. He broke the law. He faces the consequences of his actions. It's about as simple as that. The man is a thief, plain and simple. He committed a felony and needs to face the consequences for his actions. Also, there's no way he didn't go in there for the sole purpose of stealing those sets. Not the a-hole, OP. You might also want to consider going for full custody. You don't want your son spending 50% of his time with a felon and someone enabling a felon. Or at least a restraining order against the boyfriend so he can't enter your property again without consequences. Now for the updates. First update. I know I haven't been here much, but I have read many of your comments and have taken them to heart. I know my spelling is poor, guys, and I apologize for the format. Calling me names in my private message was not called for, and I am not a scalper. I enjoy buying these sets and do not intend to sell all of them, but I want my son to go to college and not worry about debt, so I want to sell the ones that I can to help. I never had the smarts for higher education, but my son is not me and I love him, and I want him to do better. Around 4 p.m., I called the local state police and met at their facility. I gave them all I had and gave my statement. My son is with me starting tonight, so when I picked him up, I sent him to the GameStop and called his mom. I told her I had filed charges and I asked the cop to call me when everything was done so I could give him the opportunity to turn himself in. I wanted to be better than he treated me. I'll save her the reaction for a real update, by the way. Can someone please tell me how to update because I don't really understand the steps in the main notes. I told my son when we got home what I did and why. My son said that I did the right thing because he didn't want his stepdad to think it was okay to do it again. And if he didn't go to jail, he'd rather be her away from him so it isn't weird. Full update. I apologize, I'm not the best at Reddit, and I guess the moderators at Am I the A-hole deleted my update. If you have any follow-up questions, I'll try my best to answer you, though it could take some time. I have received a few requests regarding posting an update, and I did promise to update the situation once it was resolved. And as far as I have any say, the headache is over for the most part. I can't say that I feel whole, but I'm not angry about it as I think the consequences are something to respect. I read through most of the comments and really appreciate the time most of you took out of your day to offer advice and well wishes. I know I didn't respond to all of them, but your time and care were noticed. I accept all of your judgments, but I must say your kindness blew me away, while some took time out of their day just to be mean, which is on you, I guess. I understand Legos are toys, but I enjoy the hunt and it's worth it to me. As I said, I decided to go to the police with the video, my statement, text from my ex, and emails. I told the police I wanted this pursued as he had entered my house after being told not to and stole valuables. They took everything I had to offer, and as of yesterday, my ex's boyfriend was arrested for a few different violations of the law. He was charged with grand larceny and of breaking and entering among a few other charges. My ex is really upset at me and him, however she bailed him out, so I'm guessing she isn't too upset with him. Ex's boyfriend has called a few times and showed up once. He left the used sets on my porch, and I'm not sure what he thinks that does at this stage. They aren't worthless, but their value is less than half. I told my lawyer he did this and she was blown away. I sent an email to my ex telling her and him to stay away from me and my home, and I only wanted to hear from her if it was concerning our child. This was his first offense to my knowledge, so I don't expect him to do jail time. However, my lawyer said it was possible due to the amount of crimes and when and how they took place. Apparently doing that during the day is worse, and he did it in front of my child, which doesn't help him. I expect that he'll be on probation, to be honest with all of you, but I'm far from being a legal expert. I spoke to the lawyer on Tuesday this week regarding the loss, and unfortunately, I'm looking at a tough road ahead of me. The pieces stolen are valued at what they sell at auction, which the local DA will decide which auctions are reputable. So that could go different ways. Moreover, the fact that the boyfriend broke up my sets were irrelevant. The lawyer said it would be like stealing one baseball card out of the entire set and burning it. You were only owed the value of that one card, even if you can't get that one card again. The fact that he returned them is an admission of guilt, she said, and that we could definitely reclaim the amount of money an unopened set for each would be worth, but it doesn't make the matter better in my opinion. I know a lot of you thought $10,000 to $20,000 wasn't nearly enough for a house down payment, but in my neck of the woods it's plenty, and my lawyer recommended we go forward with a civil suit and I agreed. With that and the legal charges, I feel that is well enough. I will have enough in savings and Lego stock, LOL, to fund his 4 years at a good state school. I wish I could do more, but you can't win them all. My son has been staying with me full time as he feels it's awkward at his mom's, and he's pretty upset at his mom about the whole thing. But I'm trying to smooth that over as best as I can considering the circumstances. He's asked to stay here full time, which I support, and told his mom as much. I told her we could do it through the courts or keep it simple, and I think she wants to keep it simple. I haven't thought much about child support, but I don't think asking for a small amount would be bad. I don't want to break my ex, but our kids should come first. Thank you to everyone for their well wishes and thoughts. Best of luck to everyone out there, Again, if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to my mother-in-law's speech during my wedding? So I hate speeches. I never understood the appeal. I think they are boring, exhausting, and very forced. But having said that, this is just my opinion, and I never forced it on anyone. I have sat through some long, excruciating speeches without complaining like any other decent human being. But when it was my turn to get married, I requested no speeches. We wrote that we loved everyone and that we knew that they loved us, so if you want to say anything, say it directly to us in private. My husband thought it was funny, but he knew my feelings about speeches. We had a small wedding with only loved ones a weekend long. My husband loves games, so the wedding planner did a really great Taskmaster type of games, and everyone appreciated it. Dinner came, and my mother-in-law stood up and started by saying, "I know we're forbidden to make speeches by the bride, but this is my only son getting married, so I will say what I want." I didn't hear the rest because I was seeing red. My sister and bridesmaids were shocked. I pretended like she wasn't talking and continued my conversation with my girls. They did the same. Mother-in-law was furious. Both sister-in-laws were furious, and my husband was very angry that it showed in his profile. He refused to look at me. The rest of the night was awkward. My husband sighed, sulking in their seats. I wanted to make sure it wasn't ruined for the rest of us, and we ended up having a blast. Next day, I spent it with my family and friends. My husband said that I was very wrong in what I did. I couldn't force my mother-in-law to STFU, and he knew she wouldn't, no matter how much we told her. I shouldn't have disrespected and humiliated her like this. Our marriage started on the wrong foot, it seems. Am I the a-hole? That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.